All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. This morning, we're going to talk about results, how to measure results effectively. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Happy Tuesday to you. Good to be here with you guys, and thank you guys for jumping on here. Sorry, I was running a couple minutes late again this morning. I keep having technical difficulties getting things set up. I'm shifting a couple things around here on the podcast setup here in my office, and just running a couple minutes late. So I apologize. My girl, Patricia Watson, is watching this morning. Happy Tuesday to you. Happy Tuesday to my friend Daniel Good. Judd Burden, brother, I hope you're feeling better, man. Just crazy what's happening to Judd. For those of you who haven't seen, Judd was got in contact with a very poisonous tree, and he is recovering from that. So many prayers for you, brother, and wishing you a speedy recovery, man. John Rugg, good morning to you. David Martin, Rick, good morning. Trisha, Bob, and Cynthia, what's happening, guys? Jared Bird and Trudy, good morning to you guys. So, all right, so let's talk about, results are one of my favorite topics to talk about, obviously, because at the end of the day, this is what we are measured on. What's happening, Curtis? Good morning to you, man. This is what we're measured on in life, right? At the end of our lives, we get to look back, and we don't get to celebrate the things that we thought about doing. We get to celebrate and reflect on and leave a legacy based on the results that we get and the impact that we make and how our lives actually unfold. Results are such a big deal. And I think that we have to be very careful in today's world to look at results properly, because so many people are trying to give everybody a trophy and trying to say, well, it's the effort that matters. And at the end of the day, that's just not true. And anybody that tells you that it is true is lying to you and doesn't have that fire that you guys have. If you're showing up to listen to this podcast, you're showing up to watch this show in the morning, there's a reason, right? You are trying to get something in your life. You're not showing up here because you don't want more. And the reality of it is that we have to get results in order to move forward. In order for our lives to get better, and for us to be able to pay it forward to our children and to the next generation and to the people around us, we have to be able to get results. And so for me, what I have learned in my career, and this is such a simple but critical piece of running a business, of running a family, of getting your life in order and moving it to the next level, is actually measuring the results that you get. And I don't think people realize this. I think that people are like delusional in some way, shape, or form, that like somehow you could just show up every day and just work really hard and everything will just work out for you. It's not how it works, guys. If you are not measuring the things in your life, if you are not tracking and measuring the things that you want to get better, they're probably not going to get better. And if they do, it's not going to be significant. So the number one suggestion that I have, and really the only suggestion that I have when it comes to results, actually it's not the only, but it's the most important, is to create a scorecard for everything in your life. Everything that you want to change, you have to create a scorecard for. If you are trying to save a certain amount of money, you have to create a scorecard to track that, right? And when I say scorecard, I mean some tracking mechanism to see how you're doing. And you have to look at it every single day. And the more frequent you look at it, and the more frequent you talk about it, and the more frequent you're consuming that information, your brain is automatically going to move you in the direction that you need to go in order to achieve what it is that you set out to achieve. You guys have to understand something about the brain. 91% of your thoughts every single day are the same thoughts that you had yesterday. So there's a pattern there. We're looking to impact a certain number of thoughts in order to move things forward. By the way, I didn't fully understand this by the time it was already working in my life. What I did was I followed the path that I saw successful people doing. I followed the path that I saw creating success for other people. And then afterwards, I read about some of the things and why this actually works. And I'm going to explain that to you this morning. So if you create a scorecard for everything in your life and you start to measure things and you start to set goals, you set a scorecard for your business, you set a scorecard for the things that you want personally, and you start to track that stuff. Here's what's going to happen. There's a thing in your brain called the reticular activating system. And the reticular activating system is out there. It's essentially constantly looking for those things that justify what you are telling yourself. So when you start to measure things or you start to set those goals, this is what I didn't understand, but it actually happened in my life. I would write down things that I wanted in my life. Doesn't matter what it is. Like, years ago, I wrote down, I wanted to move in the direction of investing into real estate. Literally, I started being surrounded by people in real estate to the point that people were offering me real estate deals that I wasn't even ready to do. But my reticular activating system was working on my behalf to go and find that stuff because I was writing it down every single day. I was writing down, I want to know more about real estate. I want to do a real estate deal. These real estate deals just started coming into my life. I've written down specific financial goals, specific measurable goals for our business, specific personal goals every single day for the last, I don't even know, probably 4 or 5 years. Every single day I write down what it is that I want in my life. I also have the same goals on the screensaver of my phone. So I'm reading it every single day. So I have created what success looks like. And then I create a scorecard for how to do that, how to measure it. So inside of our business is the easiest way to look at this. It's the easiest breakdown. We measure every single lever that leads to success. We don't just measure what did we do this week in revenue? What did we generate? What did we sell this week in profit? We measure the activities necessary to produce that result, meaning how many meetings did we run? How many phone calls did we make? If we're outbound, if we're in a season where we're outbound calling, right? You have to measure everything. Everything that makes a difference in your life, you have to measure it. You have to pay attention to that. And isn't it true for those people who have ever done this? When you measure what it is that you are looking at, the results instantly get better. Instantly and consistently, they continue to get better. And hopefully you get to a point in your life where you're looking for inches, right? Where you're not looking to rewire the whole program, but you are measuring your results to try and find that extra inch that's going to make you better. That extra inch that's going to drive a little bit more profit, that's going to reduce a little bit more expense, that's going to improve the customer experience just a little bit more in your business. And hopefully, personally, you start to look at how you can measure things to make a bigger impact, right? But at first, maybe the things that you're measuring are, how am I going to tackle this personal debt that I have? How am I going to scorecard how I'm going to do that? Maybe you're going to track how many less things you purchase in a week that lead to that result. Maybe you're going to track how many days you don't do something that you used to do that costs you money. Maybe you're going to measure the things that you are going to do in order to generate more income to eliminate that debt. But it is important, guys, personally and professionally, for you to create a scorecard for your life, for your business, and for you to share that scorecard with the people around you. What are you working on? Because what you measure, guys, automatically gets better. I promise you. And when you can figure out how to program this, when you can figure out how to program your mind to recognize the things that you actually want in your life and to detract the things that you don't want in your life, you're going to look up and not believe what you see. Generally speaking, at least once a day, every day, there's a moment where I look at something that's happening in my life, a conversation, a person that I'm connected to, results that we get in our business. And I think, man, how blessed I am. And when I look back at the journey to get to this point, one of the main things that I think about is the discipline and consistency that it took to get here. Part of that, as Keith Calloway Jr. just mentioned in the comments here on Facebook, is having a scorecard. In every area of my life, I was keeping score. And I knew what it took to win. I knew what kind of income it took to make a difference, to be able to make the donations and the impact that I want to make in my life, to be able to do the things that I want to do. I know exactly what it takes. And it doesn't matter if it takes a day, a week, a month, a year, or 10 years. If you are measuring it, I promise you guys, everything that you want will come into your life. If you are measuring it and you are staying disciplined to the process and you are putting in the work, this is the recipe for everything you want. You want to have more sales in your position? Real simple. Figure out how many calls you're making today, how many appointments you're running, how many contracts are closing, and scorecard it and do more of that and track it and hold yourself accountable. Because here's the key to this, guys. We can let ourselves off the hook very easy when it's not tracked. When it's in black and white, what your commitment is, you're going to naturally self-manage much better. Much, much better. And so if you don't talk about it, if you don't measure it, if there's nothing to tell you, I am a success or I am falling short, then you just get whatever life deals you every single day. But if you measure results effectively, if you utilize a scorecard in every area of your life, and I would challenge you to say within your business, you could have a scorecard for the whole business, but you better have many scorecards measuring everything that it takes for your people to be more successful and ultimately then in turn the company being more successful. You should be measuring those things because those people deserve to know what it takes to win. And those people deserve to know how close they are getting to winning. And then what is the end result of that winning? I have run into companies that don't measure anything. They have no idea. It is scary to me how many big companies out there don't have a scorecard and don't talk about their numbers every single week. To the point that I don't know how they don't get into trouble running their businesses. Because if you don't have a scorecard and you're not watching every single number, how do you know? How do you know? And so this is my challenge in today's world. There's so many people out there that say they want to have an impact on their own life, on other people's lives. They want to do something. They want to make a change. They want to, they want something to be different. If you say that out loud and you don't put in the work and you don't measure the results, then you are just not telling the truth. And so today I ask you to look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, what is it that I need to measure? What is the one thing that I need to start measuring and create some kind of tracking to, some kind of scorecard to? What is that one thing? Listen, for me, here's the scorecard I'm currently on. Day 4 of 160. I almost talked myself out of going to the gym this morning. I said, I'll go after work. Probably 5 times. I was out of bed, standing at the sink, considering going back to sleep. But the motivation to check that box, the motivation to keep the promise to myself, the motivation of knowing what happens when I let myself off the hook is what got me to the gym this morning. And I will tell you this, the workout you do that you know you could have skipped, you always put in a little extra effort, don't you? Scorecards create momentum, guys. Scorecards create discipline. Scorecards create transparency in what the heck is going on in your life and in your business. And if you're not doing it, if you're not tracking things, then you're not that serious. Sorry if that hurts. But if you are not tracking stuff and you're not paying attention to things and all you want is the end result glory of what happens at the end, let me tell you something, guys. Whatever comes easy or whatever comes by accident will be taken away very quickly. But what it is that you measure and earn and do and put in the discipline and the hard work and the relentless effort that it takes to get it, you will keep that stuff forever because you know what it takes to get it. What you get by accident will not stick around. What you get when you have a high level of intention will stay around in your life. It will continue to grow. God will continue to bless you in ways that you can't even imagine. And that's what I want for all of you guys. So I hope this topic helps somebody today. I hope somebody out there needed to hear this. Somebody out there needs to implement this tracking in their life so that they can understand what it is that's going on and how you can make it better. Most of the things that I talk to you guys about, there's something that the light bulb goes off for me sometime that day or sometime that morning or when I'm preparing or whatever it is, that there's something related to this that I need to do, right? That I need to do a better job of, that I need to track. So I hope it helps somebody out there. Leonard, I appreciate that, man. We'll be talking soon anyway, so we'll get this figured out, brother. But thank you guys for being here. I hope this was helpful to you guys, and I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys. Thanks for being here.